Hello, world. Hello, world.
Hey, young world. Young world. What's up, y'all? It's VOCAB, and I am with my man, Southside Frank.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hello, world.
This is a super different hangout or video than I think probably we've ever done. Frank, I'm going to introduce you to the people, and then we're going to introduce people to the topic while we're doing this. I think you and I have known each other since 6th or 7th grade.
Yeah, it's been a while. Been a grip.
I knew that Frank did art, and we had, ties or connections. And he was like kind of always the artist of every class or whatever, pretty much, all through middle school and then high school. And we worked some jobs together. I think we worked at...
Oh, yeah.
Was it Wendy's?
Wendy's, yeah.
We worked at Wendy's together, man.
Yeah.
And we would listen to hip hop while we were cleaning up, mopping.
Yeah, that was the cool part. Closing, getting out of there, that was the best part.
I think one time you spilled something and I laughed, and I think it bothered you, so I'm sorry about that.
I don't remember. I do remember spilling some filth on me, though. Yeah.
But man, so we did that. But then what happened is Frank and I had always been involved in various ways in hip hop culture. We had different touch points. When I started getting into graffiti art, spray paint, aerosol. Perfect. I hit up Frank. I was like, hey, I got some paint. I got a spot. You do art? You want to go? Do you remember the first time I asked you?
Yeah, it seemed like it was just kind of on the humble, you know what I mean? But I think I was down. I think I was down immediately.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked graffiti. I've drawn it, and it's just natural to take it to the next step, the next progression.
We headed out to some spots that I knew of, but of course you got to get paint first.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but for some reason I felt like I had to take my paper route money and my Wendy's money to buy paint.
Yeah.
But
and I wanted to rack it.
Now, what is rack? Now, everyone might not know what is rack and paint.
That's that's basically like boosting. That's like lifting it. You know what I mean? Like the discount.
And back then, though, you could still walk in like a hardware store or something like that, and the spray paint would still be out.
Yeah.
Most places now, I don't think it's locked away. I think most places.
And at that time, we were teenage kids buying paint. Like they would grill you now. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to do that so easily.
Because we're talking $100 worth of paint. We're talking.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I got a project.
Right. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, this is for a church mural we're doing. So.
And then put it in milk crates and in backpacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're good to go. There's nothing like a beautiful sight of a milk crate filled with Krylon, though.
I know. Yeah, man. Well, used because it's like you're doing work,
So we went out. I think the first spot we went to probably was down there by Green Lawn Driving Park. I think I think that was all I knew was off a trail, and a lot of OG Columbus graph artists had gotten up down there.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of abandoned buildings. So like there was like a little castle, we called it, where the homeless people stayed in this little homeless people castle.
Yeah. You definitely knew the spots ahead of time. You know what I mean? Because I learned of that through you. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know about some of those spots. Like the ones I might see on an everyday passing.
Right.
Okay, that's where it goes down. But you got to do this stuff up in the cut.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like, it's like once I discovered one and I kind of realized you could do it there, then I would keep my eyes open for others because you kind of realize what you need. Mm-hmm. But then also you start to talk to people and they'll be like, hey, here's a spot to go bomb. And sometimes those places people already go bomb. And other times there'll be new places like, hey, I found this place. It's untarnished. It's perfect. You can't even get caught there for sure. Like, perfect. So we went down there, and I was writing Mal 1. So that's what my name in the interview right now says, Mal 1.
Right. Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yep, Mal 1. Yep.
With the exclamation point. And at that time, you were writing.
I just wrote Flip, FLIP, and because that was like my little moniker, or it was also an acronym for in my rap name. It's like Flip, Frank Lawson. Frank Lawson is phenomenal. Like Frank Lawson is a pimp, and then I had to come to the realization, like, look, you ain't no pimp, man.
You didn't see the lights of the Goodyear blimp?
Right, yeah, like, where? No.
So, and sometimes you write Flip the Urban Kiwi.
Flip the Urban Kiwi, yep. That's it.
Is that because flavor? Or is it the bird? Strange bird.
The bird.
That's what I thought. It was a strange bird, right?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say about myself. Like, yeah, I'm a strange bird.
Right.
Nocturnal, weird little thing, you know.
And then we eventually started a crew because we started going writing more.
Yeah.
Different spots, getting up. First, just kind of starting with tags.
Right.
And then we learned like what paint we liked, what paint we didn't like, and then we learned how to get some caps. Now you can just order caps off the internet. Back then, to find caps was a big deal because almost anybody that you would buy them from knew why you were gonna get them.
Yeah, and you could like make yours too. You can do makeshift caps from other old caps.
Yeah, like oven spray or something.
Yeah, cut the tip off at the bottom or whatever.
But like, I started going to Groove Shack and buying fat caps and skinny caps.
Yeah.
Those are expensive too, man.
Yeah.
So then we started forming up a crew, the Nocturnal Street Scribes, the NSS. And if you look real hard, you might still see some of that stuff somewhere. You know, I went back, and every time I visit in Columbus, like the first time I went, I saw a little something, and then go back, see a little less. Yeah. I went back last time. It was like one little spot I could find where any of my tags were still up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably good, I guess, but.
Yeah, but, you know, like, it's just funny, like, as a young graffiti writer, you trying to get famous, and you see how vain it all is.
Right. Because I started to think about that at one point. This is part of my testimony, really, Frank, is I really did worship and idolize hip-hop culture. And I had these delusions of grandeur about becoming all-city famous and graph, taking titles and rap battles. And a couple things happened. I realized I'm never going to do any of that, first of all. And I started to think, it's just for a tiny little community of people that you're trying to impress.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I started to realize these folks were kind of fickle.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it wasn't really love, even if you got it. And it was temporary because I saw people come and go. And I started to realize, and right at the same time, I was reading the book of Ecclesiastes.
Mm-hmm.
And just what you said, Ecclesiastes keeps on saying it's vain, it's meaningless. It's like chasing after the wind, something you can't grasp.
Right.
And then we'll talk about the rich man and the poor man, and they go down to the earth, and they're equal there. Yeah. And even the beast is there buried with the dead man. And I started to realize, like, you know, in that refrain, nothing new under the sun, and it's all meaningless under the sun, unless God's in the picture, is the punchline of the book.
Right, yeah, right. At the end, yeah. It's like, well, there's some hope.
Yeah. But I mean, I started realizing, like, I'm just trying to get known to graph writers because most normal people don't know what a tag is. So the graph writers would hate you because they're trying to compete with you.
Right, yeah.
Unless it was in your crew or something, but.
Yeah, that's true. It's very competitive, extremely competitive.
But we did start having a crew at our high school, Marion Franklin. We had our own little hip hop table, which I felt like was a bastion at that place because that place was not an intellectually stimulating place.
Oh, nope.
And it wasn't a very open-minded place, but I feel like our little table was an open-minded, stimulating place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Me, you, Mike, sometimes Nick, and Jason. And then we started getting to the point where we would start going and cutting out during lunch because we were allowed to leave campus, and we would go spots and go tag up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we would get like lazy and be like, let's just marker bomb the halls with like Magnum 44s, which is a super stupid idea. Like, bomb your own school during lunch because it's.
I know that's like leaving breadcrumb trails.
Like, and so we were doing that in I remember one of our boys, Romel, he would do pieces in marker full out during study hall on the auditorium floor. He was like, because he was real dope. He was like also skilled.
Yeah.
Well, eventually Romel got busted. And I remember I was in Spanish class. They came in like Romel Carter, and I already knew what it was. And I was like, oh, is he gonna rat us all out? Because it was all of us. Dude ain't say nothing. He just came back. He's like, and he got in trouble, whatever. And they're like, we know there's other people. And he's just like, quiet as kept.
Yeah.
Enough respect.
Yeah. Respect Romel.
Enough respect Romel. He kept the code of silence.
A1 since day one, baby. Yeah.
So everybody, that's part of why we're doing this hangout today. This video. Me and Frank have been friends, and we still are, and it was great to catch up. But also, and Frank knows about this, he's been seeing this stuff. The Hebrew Israelites, so-called, they have this technique or tactic where instead of dealing with argumentation that you bring forth, they love to dig into people's past. And then what they do is try to find something to discredit you.
I feel like that is also a tactic, a hip-hop tactic.
Right?
If you watch a lot of them, underground battle scenes, like they've taken it to levels of researching, getting someone's birth certificate or ID, or talk to their baby moms.
Yeah, I saw that one, and the dude was talking about your brother died in a drive-by shooting, and then he was like basically, I forget all the. He's like talking about his real brother died. He's like, I'm gonna do the same to you, like that type of thing. I'm like, bro, that seems like it crosses lines to me.
Crossing the line, and it's funny because a lot of these guys, they talk tough on those microphones and are not that tough.
Yeah, they call them gun bars now.
Yeah, right. All
these post-production sound effects and stuff they add. See, we don't come from this era. Yeah, we don't come from this era.
Dudes, like you can battle and stuff and show somebody out, but there are boundaries.
Yeah. And we're just talking about hip-hop heads. We're not even talking about battling the dudes who thought they were gangsters. We're talking about heads.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
But so the Hebrew Israelites dug into a couple of our records. Now, I think they contacted the Private Eye for YAHAWASHI. They went ahead and go to by the way, Private Eye for YAHAWASHI is a skit I did where he's like a Sherlock Holmes character. And Hebrew Israelites, when they have a problem, they call him and he go try to find dirt on the opponent. So he's like, Private Eye for YAHAWASHI, at your service. Like,
right.
So they got a hold of Private Eye for YAHAWASHI. And this is why I made the skit. The skit's true to life because it exposes their fraudulent tactics. So, and one of the people they went after was me, and discovered, lo and behold, in 1996, VOCAB Malone, because they know my real name, he has a class 3 misdemeanor from 1996. Yeah. I was in high school, and you could probably tell what it was for by the course of this interview. I got busted tagging. I got busted being a graph artist. So that's my class 3 misdemeanor. Now look, Private Eye for YAHAWASHI, and to all the people who are using the information, whatever service you guys are actually using, do you pay $5 to look up people's records? Get a new one, because I looked at what you were showing online. I'm not going to tell you what information it had wrong. Actually, let me not do that. But there was at least 2 different factors that were specifically objectively incorrect. So some of the stuff you've been saying is incorrect. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's all right. I'm clarifying this because it's a nice walk down memory lane, like Nas with Southside Frank. But I have a class 3 misdemeanor. I never got it expunged because I don't really care. Like, it's not a big deal. But it was for tagging. So what happened is, I wasn't with you this time. We weren't together this time. I was with this writer kid named Dak. And we were over in that area we were talking about earlier with the homeless castle. And I was behind a building, and he was out in this parking lot because we were set to go. We had like basically finished a bombing run. And I tagged this last abandoned building. And they kept up real quiet or something, because right when I walked out from behind the building, there was like cops surrounding me. Like they came when I was behind the building, snatched him quietly, and swooped up on me like real fast. It was I couldn't do anything. It was like, and the pain was like fresh. He went back there, took a picture. It was literally, you know what I'm saying? So we went back in there, the cops, and these cops are weird. Like when they were filling our pockets and we had our magnums, our markers, they were like, is that a marker or something else? Like, just dumb cops. I'm just saying, bro. Like, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But...
So anyways, I got busted. I had to pay some fines. I had to appear in court. I had a PD, all that stuff. I had to do, I was on probation for a while. I had to do some community service. And community service part what woke me up, because I was like picking up trash with people who are like legitimate criminals, like all the way. And I was like, yo, bro, I don't think I belong at this level. The stuff they're talking about is not what I did. But they were real cool with me. That's what's funny. These dudes are like legitimate criminals and all this. And they were like, hey man, it's cool. They were like cool dudes. I don't know. They were like just super down. Now, if we were locked away, it might be different, but picking up trash, they were happy as could be. Now,
graffiti.
So that's what happened. Now, you never got busted, but you had some close calls.
I've had to run. I've had to run for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely had to run, but you know.
What are some?
At least for graffiti, I ain't never
right.
Thought, you know, not for no graffiti. Put it like that.
What are some? Did you ever? What are adventurous or good memories for you as far as graph writing went? As far as your time.
You know, you know, I've always loved it, and I've always like looked up to the guys, the older guys who did it before us and was more experienced. But it wasn't until I started looking at magazines that highlighted, you know, other people around the world and throughout just America, specifically in New York or California. So I'm starting to get hip, like, okay, this is the California style, you know. And then going out to California and then seeing these guys, the artists' work was a twist. Yeah, very graphic looking, cartoonish looking thing. He was great with characters and stuff. And just seeing those people and then meeting other graffiti writers and they taking me off on the weird places. Cause like I was saying to you last night, like graffiti writing is to me the equivalent of thrill seeking. Yeah. People who like to jump out of planes. Cause it's such a unique world, even if we want to talk about like hip hop, like people break dance, people rap, all of that, rapping, break dancing, that all still, it means you still have to be pretty and you have to be clean and stuff like that. Graffiti, you're gonna get down in the dirty, in the gritty, you know. Because you're gonna be jumping fences, trying to climb walls, going underneath fences, squeezing through small areas that coated with dust and dirt. Your fingers, you know. I remember I used to take paint thinner to clean my fingers, which was a bad idea. Like xylene, acetone, even sometimes gas. If I was like, just because you don't want, if that's like evidence, you gotta I know, paint all over your, like, you know, like you can wear rubber gloves, maybe that get in the way. It's like a hickey, you can't hide it. You just gotta kind of wait till it comes off. But I remember a couple times when I went to the open mic, we were talking about the Groove Shack, and when I went there, I would be like, let me not wash my hands today. I would like come with my backpack and then have my black book inside and maybe some cans in the Magnum and be like, hey guys, because like, oh, you right? Like, oh, thanks for noticing. I do. Yeah, sure. Because the rappers didn't really know who was good or what was up. They just knew graph was an element. Right. So it's almost like a way to get like a little bit of love or be like, oh yeah, man, we're part of the same circle, man. I had dudes like stop me and break down the whole like philosophy of hip hop just because they saw I was writing. Oh, the elements. Yeah, like, oh yeah, I never heard of this information. Nah, but you know, I was just glad to be like. All right, I remember we would go in the Coda bus, and tag with markers too, just on campus. Weird, like even though I don't get down like that, I still carry markers with me. Really? Yeah, I got them some right now. That's paraphernalia, man. Don't you know? Yeah, I mean, but these are the cute ones, though. Okay. Not the big ones, you know. We're talking about the Magna 44s, y'all. No, I don't have that. But if I came across some, I'd have it. Man, that smell when I'd open the cap and the mean streaks. Do you remember mean streaks where you could write on windows? Yeah. And dudes would take razor blades or is that
Mean Streak is like waxy kind of.
Yeah,
and
yeah, the grease paint
window.
ones. Yeah.
And the dudes would take razor blades, split it in half, put another color in it, put it back in the tube, and they could write multicolor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I never got into all that. That's like chemistry at that point, you know.
I had one that was completely novelty, and you know, you can usually just find this stuff online, but in stores, not so quickly. I guess it was specifically for construction work.
Oh yeah.
Because it goes on invisible, but if you put a light on it or turn the lights off out, it'll glow in the dark.
That's pretty dope. Oh, I remember there was also spray paint markers. Like you would shake it up, and it would mark like it was like a paint thing. Oh, and I remember people used to use like shoe shining things too. There's a little stuff you put in it, and people love to do that on mailboxes. That was the thing back then, because if you hit a mailbox, you get more street cred because it's a felony, because it's federal property. So if a dude hits a mailbox, you're like,
yeah, like, oh, he don't care. Oh,
yeah, like a mail truck. There's people that would purposely try to tag cop cars. That's a whole other level. Like,
I wanted to do that. I never did.
You wanted to tag it? You never did it though?
No, I never did it. No.
And the real wild dudes would hit up the freeway signs on top of the freeway.
Yeah.
Which is just like,
no.
I did
like,
some things.
I've like I was saying, like I've gone in underpasses and stuff and gotten way high, and I'm afraid of heights, you know, and you know, done stuff. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, like,
you look down.
Yeah, look down, like, oh my God, I'm way up high now.
You're sitting like this, painting like this, but you can't move.
Yeah, like sitting on a little ledge, just like painting on the wall like this. Like just, okay, I'm just gonna do straight letters.
I had homeless folks try to jump me because they'd be like, hey, don't you know this is where we live? How would you like if we came into your house and painted your wall?
Like if you were good, that'd be great.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But I learned how to like basically try to think out of situations. So I'd be like, oh, so-and-so said it was cool and they're from around here. And well, I don't know who that is. Because I would try to make friendships with the homeless folks to avoid these situations. Because when there's 20 homeless people, and homeless people in the night, they come out like silent zombies. I'm just saying, if you're around and they got their little trash can campfire and you come, you don't know where they're from. And all of a sudden the dude emerges without a shirt from the bushes.
Yeah.
Another dude emerges from, you're like, and next thing you know, there's 20 homeless people. And then,
it's the best thing is just to be cool, like be friendly, you know, like not be scared. I mean, but like if someone's crazy, you don't know what bad they're gonna come on.
I'll be like, oh, you know so-and-so? And they start getting closer. You know so-and-so? Sorry. And finally I mentioned a couple people I was cool with, and I swear this happened one time. I was like, well, what about, I know it's funny his name's this now, but what about Little John? And they were like, oh, okay, Little John. It's like, it's like when you try a password.
Right. Try this one.
And that was difficult too, to explain to a gangster.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. I'm not a tag banger. I'm not, you know, like.
This ain't no crib, no blood, no nothing like that.
I'm like, look, there's no pitchfork in it. There's no star. Look, see? Yeah. That's why if you write, you have to write a certain way to basically avoid stuff that looks like pitchforks. At least I don't know.
Yeah.
But I might show a picture of this, but.
Yeah.
I got this little.
Oh man, yeah.
That's us.
That's you know what? That's pretty good, man.
For back then.
Yeah, for back then. Yeah, for just getting started and stuff, you know.
This is real rookie hour right here, but you know.
Yeah, that's something cool, man.
ML, my stuff's on the your stuff's the black and blue, mine's the blue and then the yellow and teal.
Yeah, I see it. It's clear. It's real clear. Matter of fact, look, let me show you.
What you got, Frank?
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna show some. This is my book back in the day. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. Oh man, in here I have other old pictures. There's a picture of me and Rhonda from my ex-girlfriend from high school.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember her. She's I don't remember how she looked, but okay.
Yeah, some old. You got some pictures, right?
Well, I got some stuff just to like.
Oh, yeah. Let me see what you got, man.
All right,
so, from what era is that?
I don't know, but that writing right there is just like.
Urban Kiwi, I see it.
Yeah, flip right there. So in a similar style that you had on that picture, so it had to be not long after that. And then like I said, I went one time. I went to California and immediately made friends with people in the Bay Area, and they showed me that kind of love. Like I leave my my book over their house, and they go crazy. You know what I mean? Putting stuff on it.
So that's your Cali friends?
Yeah, and
yeah. So everybody who doesn't know graph, a thing is like, if you respect the artist, for him to burn your book is like a big deal. So to do like a little miniature sketch or something in your book, it's almost like an autograph in a way, but I don't know. And sometimes it's mutual, you know, one guy will do the other. Oh, those are just tags. Is that you too? Who is that?
That's Anthony Brim.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wait, did he tag? How many names did he have?
He had a few. I remember he went by Sickly at one point, but Brim he still goes by Brim.
Man, I like his. I've always liked his style, man.
He's in LA. Yeah.
I feel like I like his, like, it's like a, pure, clean, vintage graph style.
He got a nice style, yeah. He got a nice style.
Now this ain't that hot. Keep on finding anything you got.
Yeah.
But this is the first legal piece we did. And me, DeMont, and Tony Ray from Hazakim did this in a church room. This is when I was trying to get out of illegal bombing after I got busted.
Right.
So some churches started letting us do stuff there. And we did one. This is about Abraham fulfilling the promise. Tony Ray did that one. This one ain't that great either, but this is me. That's not really good at all. But it's funny, I got Phoenix Sun stuff on. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm wearing Phoenix Sun stuff.
I know how it's like prophetic or something like that.
Oh, but speaking of that, there's me and DeMont, bro.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, look at you guys.
DeMont, I gotta interview DeMont, man.
Yeah.
I tried to do an MLK piece. You can't really see it, but
I see the MLK. Yeah.
I mean, look, guys, my stuff's kind of toyish. Frank had legitimate skills. That's why I want to see some more of your stuff.
I know. I want to too. I try to grab some books. I'm like, a lot of my stuff is destroyed.
There's a underpass. I thought I was the true blue. Anyways, you got any stuff from now? You're just any other stuff you got?
That's mostly on my website, on my Instagram. You know what I mean?
Can people follow you? Can people follow you on Instagram?
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram, Southside Franks 0.2. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be tongue in cheek like 2.0, but it's 0.2. Oh,
I got you. Am I following you? I'm gonna look right now. Oh, I'm already following you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you have some nice sketches and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to fill that up, just flood it with work, but being in art school full time and working part time is, it's hard to do my own work.
Right. I got you, man. Yeah, I love those days, man. We had good friends out of it, good relationships, like good memories. And I mean, looking back, I really do feel like God protected a lot of us, because I feel like a lot of bad stuff could have happened because we were pretty reckless at certain points.
Yeah. As you will be as a young guy, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But everybody ain't make it out like that. So
that's what I'm saying.
God's protection, absolutely. No question.
And they started getting, right when we were like doing it, that's when the city for the first time started going crazy on graph writers and giving them like 6-month sentences.
Crazy. They was acting like people were like really out here knocking old ladies in the head or something.
Right. They started getting real wild. And then there was a case, I think, in LA right around that era where some dude was bombing on a guy's property, and the guy came out with a shotgun, and the graph writer turned around and he had a screwdriver, because graph writers will sometimes carry big flathead screwdrivers for a few reasons. Pop open the paint lids real quick is one. Another is because you can stick it in walls. If there's a crevice and you need to hop over something, you can use it as a little ledge. If it's big enough, the big ones, you could jump over it. And in the worst case scenario, a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, he turned around. He wasn't trying to do nothing to the dude, but the dude just saw a screwdriver, boom, boom, blasted the dude, killed him. And the dude didn't get in trouble. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like crazy to be a graph writer right now too. Yeah. I mean, we weren't in New York. We didn't have to worry about the third rail, but.
Right, yeah, but yeah. I mean, still there's train yards,
Did you bomb freights that much?
A handful of times I did, yeah.
That was crazy too. I did the dumbest thing one time. I ran through a train right when it had started moving.
Yeah.
Like not when it was full speed, obviously. I'm not Superman, but right when
it be full speed to crush your body.
Yeah, so dumb. Like if I would have just fell.
Yeah,
like, it's just like I was like, oh, because my friend had already went over on the other side. Yeah. So I didn't want to be, because when a train goes, it just goes and you're stuck there. Mm-hmm. There's no way. And so I'm like, I'm not good now. And I went off and I looked back and I was like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
What about what would you say about Columbus graffiti in general? Like, what's your opinion sort of that era, that scene?
Yeah, at the time, I think it was a burgeoning thing, and even though cats was doing stuff illegal, it was way better than what a lot of other of our peers were doing, selling dope or something like that, or smoking dope, you know.
Right.
So, and like I said, like a lot of guys during that time, they got businesses now. They hustlers.
You're like Smurs.
Smurs is, oh my God, Smurs, he got his own business. I just saw he just got a
t-shirt.
Yeah, he's got a series of t-shirts that said bomb walls, not the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
And it's still in the vein of like what he loves to do, but you know, he's got a lot of clients and stuff like that.
Shout out to Smurs. Who else should we shout out? Shout out to Demont.
Yeah, Demont, peace, Demont. Shout out to him.
Did Demont have a name he wrote ever?
He did, but I don't know. I know he liked Stretch. I don't know why. I thought he's a cartoon character. So.
Right. Stretch.
Yeah, but like, shout out Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Brim. Yeah. You know, he taught me a lot too. But like a lot of guys are like hustling legitimate and are good and even gotten better. So I think it's important to, you know, like tip the hat or whatever to that time, even though cats was like.
And even though I don't think they know who I am, I think you met some of them. Shout out to, well, actually I did meet Sage, but Sage, who became well known, like I think in Hamburg, Germany later on. Shout out to Flip, the other Flip.
Yeah, respect.
He used to go bomb with the Chicago crews a lot. That was What Crew, I think was their name.
Absolutely. Cosmo, I still to him. He's an OG to me too, man.
Del, Kosei. Who else was the crew or someone else writing? I don't remember. You know, on that website Art Crimes, you can still go look at Columbus because it has a breakdown of all the cities. Mm-hmm. Art Crimes is an old graph website that started right on like Internet 1.0. I used to be in Columbus State in the lab going on artcrimes.com or whatever, and I would look for different cities. And you can still find some old vintage Columbus stuff, like some really dope flip stuff up on the Art Crimes website. If you go to the Columbus, now I don't know if they really updated, but that was a big deal when that came out, because before that you had to buy a glossy magazine taken with photographs for the internet.
Or even before the glossy magazine, like the little homemade photocopier.
Right, the zines.
Yeah, the zines, right, yeah.
So, I mean, what's the last like time you've done like something on a wall? Because I know you get busy in books and stuff. Have you done anything on a wall like in years? I'm just curious.
I mean, like after you know, doing spray painting, I started doing legal walls too, like doing murals. Mm-hmm. I worked for a city year, and they saw that I like art, and they put me to task like being in charge of murals. Like, they had me working, man.
I thought you were to say they put me in charge of buffing people's stuff.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Hey, you know what's funny though? Go ahead. You was about to say about the wall.
No, like it was cool to have that experience too.
Right.
You know? Even though a lot of the work we did in our places that are torn down, because a lot of Columbus public schools got shut down, you know, which is crazy. That's a whole nother topic.
Right.
But, it still was cool to be in charge of something like that, and they mostly let me use my designs. So
that's dope, man. And it's funny because when I think about, you know, we did this, I'm gonna call this VOCAB Malone admits I'm a criminal. When I think about it, I got caught that one time, but I actually got almost caught a few other times, because sometimes I did stuff out in the open just to see if I could get away with it. Mm-hmm. One time at a United Dairy Farmers, I busted out a bunch of stuff on their sign, went into the store, got something to drink, and came back out. So dumb, because they was on campus, and campus was always crawling with the cops.
Yeah.
So all they made me do, though, fortunately, although the cop was trying to, he was like, what? The cop was like, I know you're banging because you're tagging. What set are you from? I was like, we're not from a set, bro. He was insisting we were gangbangers just to be tagged. But fortunately, we had dumped all our paint right before we ran into him. And I know we gotta go in like 5 minutes, huh?
Yeah, I gotta get that.
They just had me clean it off.
Yeah.
I didn't get busted that time. I was able to actually just clean it and go about my merry way. Yeah. And one other time I came close to getting caught, and the cop kind of knew what was up. He's like, look, you're in the neighborhood. You seem all right. I'm just going to bust you for jaywalking. Because to get away from him, I crossed the freeway. So, you know, the 104?
Yeah.
It was under the underpass. I went on this side and went through all 4 lanes of traffic to go to the other side to avoid him. So they gave me a J, which is insane, right? That's how I got caught, because a cop happened to be on the freeway and saw me anyways.
Yeah.
So that's what those are for. But
Good times.
Yeah, seriously. Right? It's just, and I used to wear Timberlands then, running through a neighborhood in Timberlands and a hoodie. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Dang, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I definitely want to get out there and paint some more, man. But, you know, just on some space that I don't need to get my get messed with. But, you know, paint is really more expensive than ever. And there's companies that specifically make it for, you know, graffiti.
Yeah.
They're racking, man, they hitting people in the head, man.
Yeah, it's real expensive now. I mean, it's crazy. It's
like you need to be an established artist just to do some art.
Yeah. God, I mean, I don't even look at it now. I'm like,
yeah. I could go on forever about that, but
lots of stories, man. Smith Brothers Warehouse bombing that place. We could talk about other people we used to tag with, Hip Hop Expo. We could talk about Cincinnati Scribble Jam. Shout out to, that's where that kind of all started. That was a graph magazine.
Right, that was strictly a graffiti thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they had legal walls. I think they had legal parks down there too, from what I heard. That reminds me too. Shout out to Damon, R.I.P., because he got a mural of himself. I mean, he died, he passed, but I think there might even be a few murals of him.
Yeah, like a couple of them. Yeah. They
pretty
nice. He was like, he's like the man of the people type dude. You know? I remember I met him in Rhema Christian Center.
Yep, with the big old.
Yeah, big up Rhema Christian Center. I met him and
Ernie.
I kind of always knew Ernie. Like
everybody always knew Ernie.
He's always around. Like he's always there. Couldn't get rid of him. But like, I was I'm not gonna go through it now, but as I was looking for stuff in this book, it had something he drew in my book, Damon. He's always into comic books and stuff and
hardcore. His raps were all Wolverine, X-Men, that. His raps were super like adamantium.
Yes, and he got popular amongst the little party kids on campus and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, like they're all right, man. But you know, I ain't messing with them like that. And they end up loving him. And
he was like a bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. He was.
But that's a special era, man. The Groove Shack and Thieves World and Roots Records, which used to work out.
Yeah, Roots Records, yeah.
And that's where you smell a lot of incense, and that's why you have a bad memory because of all that incense.
A lot of incense going on in a record store that specialty is reggae music and Rasta culture, Caribbean culture.
That's hilarious, dude. Oh yeah, shout out to Bernie's, shout out to Skankland.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get up out of here.
All right, hey man, Frank, I appreciate it. It was good just talking normal, and thanks for being willing to come on. And basically, I mean, some of it's a testimony of God's grace in our life.
Yeah. Oh no, without a doubt. And there's something else I wanted to say. Like,
you got the final words for real.
Yeah, graffiti is a beautiful art and everything like that. But it just seems like we were saying a little vanity because you put up something and it gets marked over or it gets rubbed out by the city,
right?
Or it just gets the wall gets broken down,
or a writer tags it over.
Yeah, right. No legacy. Like you really ain't leaving no legacy. You know what I mean? It's like eventually you have to take it somewhere else. like take your talents to higher heights or whatever, but never forget where you came from, you know. But also, I think graffiti is kind of empty in that most people don't have no message.
Right.
Like
it's just I'm the king or something.
You just put your name up and that's it. You know, like we a little beyond that because a lot of young people got stuff to say. They try and say it however they say it. It's like it's important to speak your heart, to have a message. And I think even more so, like if it comes from God, then you should give it to God. You know what I mean? Like in some way, tell somebody like God love you or something. It's so simple. There's only so much you can do, but you know, just a message. Have it mean something. Have whatever you're working on. Have it mean something.
So it's transcendent versus just that little space and time. Something beyond itself.
Yeah, like if I came across something and it made me think, and even if it got torn down, it's still up here. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, and in a way, it affected me. So
that's good, man. Hey, man, thanks a ton, man. This is
much love, VOCAB.
Yeah.
Peace out, world. Hit me up on Instagram. Follow me. I need to get my numbers up. Man.
Yeah, follow Frank on Instagram and tell him, give us some graph, give us some sketches, give us some girls, give us some stuff.
Yeah, put a fire under me so I can work harder, work faster.
All right, hey, God bless you, man. Thanks for joining. It was good.
Yeah, peace, man. I'm out.
So, y'all, that's my man Frank. Just a good dude. I've known him for, well, you heard it, since middle school. Still keep in contact. And to the Hebrew Israelites, hopefully you enjoyed this discussion about graph art. Just so everyone knows, I don't condone illegal activity or anything like that. The art is one thing, you know, the skill of graph is a beautiful gift. But I definitely encourage people to find ways to do it. And there's a lot of ways to do it, especially now. You know, there's a lot of ways you can do it that you don't have to violate the laws of the land, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be like me, getting a class 3 misdemeanor, and then 20 years later, somebody's going to be like, hey, look at this. But really, it's not a big deal, really. That's why I didn't even get it expunged. But, you know, we mean in what we said in there, and it's beautiful to have that discussion. But that's really what's up, man. So if you got any experiences or stories with graph, and especially if, you know, it weaves into apologetics in your testimony, which I know, you know, this is all rare stuff, but there's a lot more of us than you might imagine. I was just talking about Frank last night when we were setting this up. He was telling me about one of the battle rappers that used to be around the way at the open mics, and that dude's an apologist now. And I never could have imagined this dude, because this dude was twisted, right? I never could imagine him becoming an apologist, a Christian apologist. But God is good, you know what I mean? So just kind of just recognizing that, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So if you got a story about anything like that, you know, maybe even from where we're from, you know, maybe you know some of those names or whatever, just give a shout out in the comment section. Please do. I'd love to hear from y'all and what you have to say about that. And remember, y'all, when the Hebrew Israelites pull out private eye for YAHAWASHI on you, don't worry. Just use it as an opportunity to share God's message of grace and mercy and redemption and what he's done in your life. Like my man Jesus, the word, did when they try to pull that stuff on him. Don't even sweat it, because God is good and people ain't very forgiving, but he is, and that's what the cross is about. So we did this little thing here. Shout out to all y'all with class 3 misdemeanors as well. Peace out. Man, you made a VHS tape of a bunch of just like Rap City. You took like all the best ones.
Yeah.
And you let me borrow it, and man, I watched that thing forever.
Do you still have that? Because I want it back.
Yeah, I don't know.